And we are live. Good evening, folks. We're back with Friday Night Tech Talk once again. And first one in here a few minutes ago was Eleanor. So she says, hi, all. I haven't seen anybody else come in as yet. If you're new here, we do this every Friday night. We highlight stories from last Friday to this Friday, and we have some discussion in the comments about the tech stories that I pick out. Now, if there's a big event that week, I usually have a big story about that. Other than that, I pick stories that I think might be interesting to us tech types. This week, we had no big event, but there is a hot story that started yesterday, and it's continuing today. Everybody's talking about it. But I've made it the third story because I want to give people time to get in. So you'll find all the show notes on my website. So let me show you that first. Last week we had Mike and Will here for the whole show. And that was the first time in, I guess, about a year. And everybody liked that. So you haven't seen Ted in a few weeks. So we'll see if maybe we'll get lucky and he'll show up. So I'm going to show you my website where the show notes are, and you can follow along in the show notes if you like. So if you go to mobilegreaser.wordpress.com, click on today's date, you'll get just the show notes for tonight's show. And as I usually do when we get here, I will give you a preview of what we're going to talk about tonight. Oh, by the way, I neglected to mention, if you're new here, please type something in the comments. Let us know where you're from and welcome. So let's do our little preview. So the first story is going to be about the Pixel drop, the Pixel feature drop, which happened yesterday, I believe. So I got it on my Pixel 9 Pro. And anybody who's got the Pixel 6 and above, they should have it too. Eleanor, you should have it too. And that's going to be our first story. We'll just go over what's in this feature drop. Following that up with another story that came out yesterday, I said Google extending Pixel update support by 2 years because Pixel 6 should have had their last update in October, but they've decided to extend it 2 years. So if you've got the Pixel 6 or anything going forward, you're going to get Android 16 and 17, even though we just recently got 15. So those are our first two stories. Now, a story I was telling you about, the one that's been kind of mentioned everywhere since yesterday. I said no encryption for Android/iOS texting may risk a cyber attack, says the FBI. And they just came out with that story yesterday. So that'll be our third story. And hopefully we'll have other people in here that want to talk about that. After that, you guys pretty much know how I feel about Sam Altman, the head of OpenAI. I don't trust the guy. I don't particularly like the guy. I think there was a reason why his board threw him out for a few days last November, and they brought him right back. But I've got a story here. OpenAI, safe, ethical AI, which is what they always say they are, or Cyberdyne Systems precursor. Got that story on Gizmodo. And those of you who know Terminator know why I said Cyberdyne Systems, because that's what brought us Terminator in the end, in the movie. So we've got a good story about that, how they're partnering with a government, I guess you could say, AI killing robots, really. Anyway, we'll get to that. And then Will the new Trump administration reverse the previous stance on TikTok? Because back in near the end of Trump's first term, he wanted to ban TikTok. Well, now a lot of people do, and it looks like that's probably coming because TikTok lost a court case today in the appeals court. But maybe Trump is leaning the other way, so we'll talk about that. I've got that on CNBC.com. And then my final story, the Tesla Apple Watch out. So Tesla has come out with an app just for the Apple Watch. So I found that on Phone Arena, so we'll talk about that. So those are the stories we'll talk about today. So nothing else new in the comments. So I will go up with the first story. Pixel feature drop, December 2024. And as I said, those of us with Pixels had it available yesterday. This is on Phone Arena. December 2024 Google Pixel feature drop is here with updates for the phones, tablet, and watches. Published yesterday by Joanna Romero. So let's drop this into reader view, get rid of some of these ads. It's been a huge day for Android and AI updates today. She wrote this yesterday. I didn't even know what she meant by that. But Google isn't done because the Pixel ecosystem of devices is getting some extra goodies as well. The December 2024 Google Pixel feature drop is now rolling out to eligible Pixel phones, the Pixel tablet, and Pixel watches, bringing all the below new features. It's not just about bug fixes and performance enhancements, as this update introduces some significant changes that will likely change how people use their Pixel devices daily. Now, I haven't had a chance to test out these new features, but I want to let you guys know about them. For Pixel phones, Gemini, your new AI assistant. One of the biggest updates is the introduction of Gemini, Google's new AI assistant. Those of you who know me know that I've had the Gemini app on my phones, both Android and iOS, for weeks now, and I pretty much love it. One of the biggest updates is the introduction of Gemini, Google's new AI assistant. Gemini is integrated into various Google apps and services on Android, making it easier for you to do things like calling contacts, drafting messages, setting alarms, and controlling device settings. There's even a Spotify extension that lets you control your music with Gemini. And some people are going to love that. I don't have Spotify, but a lot of people do. Improved call screening. If you use Google's call screen feature, and I know Mike loves that, to screen your calls, you'll love the new contextual replies suggested by Gemini Nano. These easy-to-tap replies make it even simpler to handle unwanted calls. So they'll be more, I guess, automatic, where you don't have to bother with even responding to them yourself. Expressive captions for all. Another great addition is expressive captions, which uses AI to capture the intensity and emotion of someone's speech. This works for any content with sound on your phone, including live streams. Like I said, I haven't had a chance to test any of these yet. Screenshot upgrades. This sounds pretty good. Google has also improved the Pixel Screenshots app with new features to help you stay organized, such as smart filters to help you find what you need when you need it. Also, you can now add tickets or credit cards you've screenshotted to Google Wallet for quick access. That is pretty cool. Additionally, results from Circle to Search can now be added directly to the Screenshots app. Okay, dual screen in portrait mode. And this is for specific phones. For those with the Pixel Fold or Pixel 9 Pro phone, so I don't have either, you can now use the dual screen feature in portrait mode. This allows both you and your subject to preview the shot before capturing it, so you'll both see it, which is cool. Made you look, this I didn't even know about. Expanded and more joyful The Made You Look feature, which uses animations to grab a child's attention for photos, is now available on the first generation Pixel Fold. Additionally, you can now have Joy from Disney and Pixar's Inside Out appear in Made You Look on your Pixel 9 Pro Fold. So I guess Joy must be a popular character in Pixar's Inside Out. Next one, Pixel Studio stickers in Gboard. This is another one. I've seen some videos that people really seem to like this. If you're a fan of Pixel Studio stickers, you can now use them in Gboard, and I use Gboard all the time. Google's Keyboard app. This means you can share your sticker creations with friends and family via messages, social media, and more. That one I need to try out. Clear voice mode in Recorder. The Recorder app gets an update with Clear Voice Mode, which automatically reduces noise and distractions in your recordings. And I did see a video where somebody was talking about that, and they said it does, if you're having a conversation with someone and there's noise in the background, it's much clearer talking to the person. Social media improvements. Ultra HDR photos are coming to Pixel phones. This means you can now take and share photos with brighter intensity, higher contrast, and more detail directly to your Instagram feed. So that's cool. Sharing photos and videos on Snapchat from your Pixel phone is getting easier too. With the new photo picker, you can now see all your folders, favorites, and cloud photos directly within Snapchat instead of scrolling through your device's photo albums. I stopped using Snapchat a couple of years ago, but for those who use it, sounds pretty good. Simple View for easier navigation. Google is introducing Simple View, a new way to navigate your smartphone. This feature simplifies the interface, making it easier to use for those who prefer a less cluttered experience. Another one I've got to try. Identity check for enhanced security. Identity check is a new beta feature, so it's a beta feature, that requires your face or fingerprint authentication before any changes to sensitive settings can be made on your phone when you're in a new location. So since I don't have the beta, I guess I won't be seeing that. Most of the above updates for Pixel phones apply to the Pixel 6 and newer Pixel phones, with the exception of Gemini. Now, here's a list of exceptions. With the exception of Gemini Nano suggested replies, Pixel screenshots, app upgrades, Ultra HDR photos in Instagram, Pixel Studio stickers in Gboard, and Clear Voice Mode in the Recorder app, which are only available for the Pixel 9 series. So it will be on my Pixel 9. But if you just have a Pixel 6 or 7, I guess you won't get those 5 new features. Dual screen and portrait mode and Made You Look are only available for the original Pixel Fold and Pixel 9 Pro Fold, which I do not have, except for the Joy feature, which won't be available on the original Fold. So those are the new features. Some people think they're pretty cool. Like I said, I've seen a couple of videos, but I haven't had a chance to try any of them out myself. This time I got an update last night and I worked today, so I haven't had time yet. So just wanted to let you guys know about that one. And nothing new in the comments, so we'll go on to our next one. Again, another Pixel story. Google extending Pixel update support by 2 years. This was on The Verge. Again, this one came out yesterday. Google will support the Pixel 6, 7, and Fold with 2 extra years of OS updates. That's the original Fold. Google is extending more updates to some phones than originally promised here, because the Pixel 6 should have stopped getting updates this past October, but they extended it. This list was written by Allison Johnson yesterday. Let's jump into reader view. Owners of Pixel 6 series, 7 series, and Pixel Fold phones can now look forward to a couple extra years of OS upgrades than initially expected, as discovered by Android expert Michelle Rahman and confirmed by Google on X. When they were introduced, Google originally promised 3 years of OS upgrades and 5 years of security patches for each device, starting from the time they went on sale. But a quiet update to a support page confirms that these phones will get 2 additional OS upgrades, giving them a full 5 years of OS and security support that may also include new and upgraded features with pixel drops. That, my friend, rules. Google's 3 and 5 policy wasn't bad, but it wasn't the best either. After the Pixel 6 arrived in 2021, Samsung did one better by offering 4 years of OS updates for the Galaxy S22. Google got its act together with the Pixel 8, announcing a class-leading 7 years of OS and security update support, which is great. But you wouldn't blame a Pixel 6 or 7 owner for feeling like they were unfairly left behind. Google seems to be making up some of the shortfall by offering these additional OS upgrades, and it's a welcome change. So you Pixel 6 and 7 owners are not left behind. Of course, an OS update isn't quite what it used to be for better and worse. Google is emphasizing pushing out more updates across older versions of Android through its Play framework. That's a great thing, but it does mean that the yearly OS upgrade isn't quite as important as it once was because you're getting some of it gradually. The company can also gain certain features to pricier or more recent models, as it has with Night Sight Video and Zoom Enhance. Google's mention of new features via pixel drops for the next couple of years is promising, though. Going by Google's original schedule, the Pixel 6 should have gotten its last OS platform upgrade with this year's Android 15, which would have been in October. Inquiring minds wondered if something was up when the Pixel 6 series was deemed eligible for the Android 16 beta, and I gave you that story a couple of weeks ago. And now we know Pixel 6 phones are on track to get Android 16 and 17 when they become available. Not too shabby. So that's very cool thing that Google did. They do enough taking away, so this time they gave, which is nice. Okay, so that's story number 2. Let me get a quick swig of my green tea. Nothing new in the comments, so we'll go on to what I guess has become the big story of the week. Like I said, as of yesterday, this became a big deal. No encryption for Android/iOS texting may risk cyber attack, says FBI. Now, I pulled it off of CNET, but it's all over the place. Trust me. And this one came out yesterday also. iOS Android texting is at risk as FBI warns about massive cyber attack. So they're saying this cyber attack is still ongoing. You'll see that in the article. You should be using an encrypted messaging app instead of texting between iPhones and Android phones. So if you have an Android phone or an iPhone, they don't want you going one to the other. Federal security agencies say. This is by Omar Gallagher. And like I said, this was yesterday. And I can't drop it into read. Oh, wait. I was trying to drop it into Reader View when I first put it up here, and I put it up late today. And sometimes it was showing me the right thing, and other times it wasn't. So we'll try once more. Okay, it is right. Okay, if you've got an iPhone and you've been texting someone using an Android phone or vice versa, the FBI and U.S. Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency are warning you to switch to a messaging app that uses end-to-end encryption immediately. And I kept wondering about it, and I've talked to Elmer about it too. Why now? Why not before? Because, they've been able to go send texts to each other for a long time. But RCS only came out a few months ago on iOS. And when you use RCS from Android, it's not end-to-end encryption. So maybe that's why now. It comes as a major cyber attack unfolds, like I said, still going on, with telecom companies, including AT&T, Verizon, and Lumen Technologies, being hacked by China, according to the officials. They don't give us any details here, but they're saying this is a big deal, and it's still ongoing. The U.S. government is investigating the hacking, which the officials say has given access to private text and phone conversations, as well as metadata about calls, as reported by NBC News and other outlets. One type of mobile messaging that may be particularly vulnerable during the attack is RCS, which I just mentioned, a protocol that allows iPhone and Android users to message each other and is not encrypted. So I'm thinking maybe since they adopted RCS on iOS, maybe that's where the problem started. Instead, use an app like Apple Messages, Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp, Signal, and Telegram, which all have end-to-end encryption. The attack, an ongoing campaign dubbed Salt Typhoon, was the subject of a Senate hearing on Wednesday. It's unclear so far how widespread the attack has been. Like I said, they're not giving us details, maybe because it's ongoing. The agencies have been working with telecommunications companies to beef up security as Salt Typhoon continues. So I don't know when they're going to finish their investigation. Our suggestion, what we have told folks internally, is not new here. Encryption is your friend. That's interesting that a government agency is telling us that encryption is our friend, because when they want to read our messages, they don't want stuff encrypted. But it's all the governments are the same about that. Encryption is your friend, whether it's on text messaging or if you have the capacity to use encrypted voice communication. Jeff Green, Executive Assistant Director for Cybersecurity at the CISA, told NBC. Even if the adversary is able to intercept the data, if it is encrypted, it will make it impossible. And I can tell you that's true. I used to work on encrypting stuff when I worked programming in Florida. And yeah, if you don't give somebody the unencryption key, they can't read it. But anyway, this has been a big deal for like 2 days now. And so I just thought I should let you guys know about it. And everybody is talking about it. So, especially since it's still ongoing, I decided I should throw this in. I replaced another story that I had from yesterday. And now we're going to OpenAI. OpenAI, safe, ethical AI, or Cyberdyne Systems precursor. I found this story on Gizmodo, and if you remember, when they started OpenAI, Sam Altman was there, and so was Elon Musk. Well, Elon has since left because they wanted to be safe. They wanted to be non-profit. But ever since they decided to go profit, that's where I think Sam and Elon had their disagreement. OpenAI continues its mission, now get this, of ethical AI by partnering with a killer robot company. And this is serious stuff here. It's a weird look for a company that claimed it wants to make AI safe for everyone. I agree 100%. So, and this came out yesterday also by Lucas Ropek. So let's drop it into reader view. Okay. OpenAI has claimed that it's leading the way when it comes to the safe, ethical deployment of artificial intelligence. Weirdly, it has also decided to partner with a company that is actively working to develop killer robots for the U.S. military. And that's not kidding. That's exactly what they're developing, or one of the things they're developing. This week, OpenAI announced a new partnership with Anduril Industries, a defense contractor co-founded by Oculus founder Palmer Luckey. Lucky's little company has managed in the space of 7 years to build itself into a pivotal player in the defense community. It has done that by churning out drones for the U.S. military, some of which are designed to kill people. So it doesn't sound like the safest, most ethical company to me. The new partnership between the drone builder and Silicon Valley's hottest AI vendor will see the two companies come together to develop and responsibly deploy advanced artificial intelligence solutions for national security missions, a press release associated with the deal states. What that means, practically speaking, is the integration of OpenAI software into Anduril's platform, Lattice. Lattice is a flexible AI-fueled software program designed to serve a variety of defense needs. It appears that OpenAI's high-powered algorithms will now be used to turbocharge Anduril's products. OpenAI builds AI to benefit as many people as possible and supports U.S.-led efforts, now get this, to ensure the technology upholds democratic values, said OpenAI CEO Sam Altman in a statement shared Wednesday. The problem is, who decides what is upholding democratic values? How many governments has our CIA taken down saying they were upholding democratic values? So our partnership with Anduril will help ensure OpenAI technology protects U.S. military personnel, and that's a good thing, and will help the national security community understand and responsibly use this technology to keep our citizens safe and free while you're killing other people's citizens. In a statement, Anduril CEO and co-founder Brian Schimpf, I guess that's how you say it, said the partnership would allow his company to utilize OpenAI's world-class expertise in artificial intelligence to address urgent air defense capability gaps across the world. So is this starting to sound more and more like Terminator? It is to me. Although most of Anduril's products represent defensive technologies designed to protect U.S. service members and vehicles, it also sells what it has been dubbed a kamikaze drone. That drone, the Bolt M, is powered by the company's artificial intelligence software and comes equipped with lethal precision firepower, which can deliver devastating effects against static or moving ground-based targets, the company's website brags. Live Science notes that the Bolt M is designed to fly into structures and explode. Anduril is also said to be developing drone swarms that can augment U.S. Navy missions. Like I said, sounding more and more like a Terminator movie. This is a weird, if not predictable, development for OpenAI, which has claimed it wants to steward AI development to get this in a healthy direction. But this is where Altman and Elon disagreed. But has, since its ascent to the heights of the tech industry, increasingly dispensed with the ethical guardrails, that's right, that defined its early development. And why don't I like Sam Altman? Because he strikes me as a guy who'll do anything for money. This article being another proof of that. But I thought this was an important one to get to because, this sounds very much like the beginning of Cyberdyne Systems to me. So just thought you guys should know about that. Now, we've got no Mike, no Ted, no Will, so it's going to be a quick night, as you guys can tell. All right. TikTok. And this whole TikTok thing has been kind of ongoing for like a year now. Will the new Trump administration reverse the previous stance on TikTok? This was on CNBC.com. So let's go there. Now, this is an op-ed. This is an opinion written by this Duardic L. McNeil. So I don't even think he works for CNBC, but they've allowed him to write this op-ed. With TikTok ban approved by court, it's Trump's move and donors versus national security, published also yesterday. Let's drop this into reader view. And they may be banned the day before Trump takes office, but you'll see that in the article. President-elect Donald Trump was early to warn about the national security dangers posed by TikTok during his first term in office. Yes, he did. With rhetoric and policy discussions that framed the social media app with his aggressive anti-China stance. But during the 2024 campaign, Trump seemed to do an about-face. Maybe too late, though. In an interview on CNBC's Squawk Box last March, Trump said banning TikTok would make young people go crazy and would also benefit Meta Platforms, Facebook. There's a lot of good and there's a lot of bad with TikTok, Trump said. But the thing I don't like is that without TikTok, you can make Facebook bigger. And I consider Facebook to be an enemy of the people. That's heavy duty, along with a lot of the media. I think Zuckerberg's doing what he can to change that. Trump's transition team hasn't commented on TikTok specifically, but it has said the election results give the president a mandate to follow through on the promises he made on the campaign trail, and there are some big deadlines coming up related to TikTok's fate. That's true. And like I said, they lost a court battle today, and so I guess their only place to go from here is to the Supreme Court. Before Trump has the chance to weigh in as president, the U.S. Court of Appeals for the D.C. Circuit issued a ruling on Friday, that was today, upholding the new law requiring ByteDance, TikTok's Chinese parent company, to divest its U.S. operations by January 19th. That's when the 6 months they were given to divest in America is up. So it's the day before Trump would be inaugurated. To divest its U.S. operations by January 19th. This case has broad implications touching on national security concerns, constitutional questions about free speech, and the future of foreign-owned tech platforms in the U.S. The decision is not a surprise, as courts generally defer to the executive and legislative branches, but they can't defer to Trump because he won't have been president yet on the 19th. The government has also given Congress clear constitutional authority to regulate foreign commerce, which supports the legislation requiring ByteDance divestment. Regardless, this case is likely headed to the Supreme Court. But for now, with Trump to be sworn in on January 20th, one day after the federal ban on TikTok is scheduled to begin, Trump's comments have intensified deep concerns about the influence that major donors will have in a second Trump administration and the extent to which private financial interests will be prioritized over national security and public welfare. So they're saying his people who donate to him might get their way over public security, public welfare, and national security. Who knows? In fact, it may be the first major decision made by Trump that tells us just how far his administration is willing to go in prioritizing the donor wish list. And I'm not going to read all this because this is long, but there's a donor. Oh, yeah. At the center of this controversy is Jeff Yass, a major Republican donor with significant financial ties to ByteDance. And I think he's owns shares, but they weren't specific about what his ties to ByteDance is, TikTok's parent company. Yass, who contributed over $46 million to Republican causes during the 2024 election cycle, reportedly met with Trump in March, so it's been a while, I guess. Though the details of their conversation remain unclear. What is clear, however, is that Yass's ownership stake in ByteDance, so he has some kind of stake in ByteDance, has fueled concerns in Washington about whether Trump's reversal was influenced by donor priorities rather than a pure devotion to market competition. So I'm not going to go through all of it, but as you can see, it's very long. But they're worried that maybe this guy donating so much money to the Trump campaign changed Trump's mind? We don't know. And I guess we won't find out until he becomes president, which is the day after this is supposed to go into effect, banning TikTok. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. And just wanted to make you guys aware of that. Like I say, without anybody else coming in, this is going to be a short evening because I'm down to my last story and nothing new in the comments. So I just thought this was a cool story. I found it on Phone Arena. The Tesla Apple Watch app. So let's go take a look. And this came out 4 days ago. Tesla announces Apple Watch app with key access, climate control, and more. Oh, and the reason you're seeing all these Dyson ads, because I told you guys I just bought a Dyson from Black Friday. Well, of course, now I'm getting Dyson ads like crazy. This was published yesterday by Joanna Romero. And let's drop this into reader view. The long wait is over for Tesla owners with Apple Watches as the company has just announced the release of an official app. The news arrived as part of Tesla's holiday update post on X, along with other updates coming to their vehicles and mobile app. The Tesla Apple Watch app is expected to be available as early as next week, so it's not quite available yet. The app will allow you to use your watch as a key, open the front trunk or frunk, and even control the car's climate settings. So that's pretty cool, from your watch, no less. Plus, you can check your car's battery level right on your wrist. Talk about convenience. Yeah, use your watch. Use your Apple Watch as your phone key. You can also view battery charge, open front, and turn on climate control. So pretty cool stuff. This is a pretty big deal, especially for those who like to leave their phones behind when they're exercising. Before, you could only use your iPhone as a key, which meant you had to take it with you or leave your car unlocked. Now you can just use your Apple Watch and not worry about it. That's pretty cool. The Apple Watch app is part of Tesla's holiday update, which also includes some interesting new features for smartphone users. Some of which include being able to watch and share videos from your car's cameras, remotely schedule light shows, including the 2 new ones in the 2024 holiday update, and getting a mobile app notification if the door handle on your vehicle is pulled. That's good. This news comes after Tesla CEO Elon Musk hinted at the possibility of an Apple Watch app back in March, responding to a user's comment on X. Then in October, there were some signs that the app was actually in the works. Well, I guess it'll be here next week. I think this is a pretty smart move by Tesla. Rolling out an Apple Watch app makes their cars even more convenient to use and gives those users another reason to love their devices. I'm curious to see how well the app will work in practice and whether it will be reliable. I'm also interested to see if Tesla will add any other features to the app in the future. In the meantime, keep your eyes peeled for its availability. So I guess like looking for it next week if you have a Tesla, which will sure get its own announcement once available. So watch for that announcement. I'll listen for it. So I often forget that I leave this part here just in case anybody's in the chat wants to have more discussion about anything. But we haven't seen anybody else show up other than Eleanor. So if anybody else has anything, you've had a few seconds. If you want to type something in the comments to let me know, or you want to comment on any of the stories that I've said, you guys let me know. Other than that, like I said, me being alone tonight, it's a very quick show. And as always, I hope you guys have a very blessed weekend. And I will see you next week. Maybe Ted or maybe even Michael will. will drop by. Now, keep in mind, Mike and Will both said they were going to be in the last show of this month. So hopefully we can hold them to that. But as always, comments are welcome, guys. Thanks for being here. Thanks for dropping by every Friday. I hope you guys have a very blessed weekend, and I will see you guys next week.